Shohei Baba in the main event, and Hans is already getting into an argument with Pete Sacco, the referee. Shohei Baba is approaching everything calmly, but Hans, who is a big fella, is almost dwarfed by the size of this big Shohei Baba. He's a 7-footer, 7 foot 1 inch, weighs 311 pounds. And Baba is paying no attention whatsoever to the conversation between Hans Schmidt and Pete Sacco. Hans is ready to go, though. He's geared himself for action against this big fella. Pete Sacco trying to tell him to wait for the bell. And there it is. Here we go. Boy, that Baba's a big guy, too. Whereas Hans gives no quarter. Hans has never quite come into contact with a fellow like this before. Well, everything that Schmidt does, Baba replies or returns with interest. Look at the height of this fellow. Sometimes you don't realize how big these guys are because they're all big. Hans Schmidt is about 6'3". But Baba towers over him. Now Hans is beginning to cut loose in his own specialty. The kicks to the stomach and the flying mare. Whip, knee to the stomach, and he's got Baba softened up a bit already. Baba's tough and strong. Look at this. Look at the width of that back. Wrist lock by Baba, and he's now using that foot to the stomach. Brutal splash by Baba. One of the interesting things about Hans Schmidt, while he's a rough, tough guy in that ring, outside he's quite a gentle fella. Another oddity about this bout is that usually Japanese wrestlers are not the favorites of the crowds, but Baba, in his 5 or 6 appearances here, has been the favorite of the crowd. It's Schmidt with a rear bear hug there, but Baba had the head scissor and ran him into the corner turnbuckle. Dished it out now. Got that boot working. Pete Sacco got when he was underneath about 550 pounds. Hans now with Baba. He has his head cut between the ropes. Look at Baba. He can't get loose. He's working himself free now. Pete Sacco is upsetting Hans Schmidt. Hans just picked something up from the canvas, which he's got underneath his trunk. Pete Sacco's right on him, though. Pete's really dogging him tonight. There was a bottle trap. Ooh, look at that back slash. There's another one. Hans has his own answer, but Baba is a real tough customer. A real rugged battle going on between Shohei Baba, the Japanese 7-footer, and Hans Schmidt. Hans with a good body slam. 311 pounds he lifted that time. Those are vicious, vicious slashes. Karate chop. Another right across the throat. You can break a man's larynx this way, or his voice box anyway. Hans has got both feet draped across the ropes, which should be a saver. And Hans decides to get out of there and give himself a little rest. Back in, ready to go. Hans with a step over toe hold. Japanese, as you can see, wears no shoes, so Hans is better able to manipulate those toes. Of course, you're not allowed to work on an individual toe like this little piggy went to market. Can't do that sort of thing. Here's the slashes again, and these are what leveled Moose Cholak when he hits him on the head. But I think Hans, apparently, at least for the moment, seems to have a tougher head. Oh, he's coming back. But he hurt his hand. Hans tried a karate slash and hurt his hand. The Japanese fellas are trained for that. Oh, right on his forehand. Fritz may have some broken bones in that hand. By Hans Schmidt. Now he's trying some of his own slashes. Baba uses that. It's like the edge of an axe, you know, when he hits him. Now he's got... Is he going to pull this one out? It's amazing. He was almost pinned. Another flying drop kick. Hans Schmidt making a great revival here. He got him. He goes. He's got him. A great victory for Hans Schmidt over Shohei Baba in a big surprise here at the auditorium. Baba cannot believe what happened to him, but he got the pin. Baba practically had Schmidt set up for it. Hans Schmidt, the winner. The Italian